Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today is another Disney vlog day. It's actually day 2, which is our Magic Kingdom day. If you are returning here, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. At the end of this video series, I do have a giveaway. So if you are interested in that, make sure you follow along and hit that subscribe button and a thumbs up button on all these videos so you can participate in that. If you're interested, I will insert what it is. The giveaway is for a pair of mini ears. They're bedazzled. They are not by the Disney brand. I talk a little bit more about them specifically in vlog day 1. So if you haven't watched that one, make sure you go over there and you can hear more about the giveaway and follow along from the beginning. To start off, I always like to let everyone know that I do have a set of notes here to kind of keep me on track, because not only can I just like go off on tangents, but I'm also pregnant and I have pregnancy brain. So I always like to make sure I have some notes here to kind of keep me on track and things like that. As I had mentioned, it is our Magic Kingdom day and it was one of my favorite days, which every day in Disney is a favorite day, you know what I mean? But this was our first official park day, and so that was like definitely something special for us. So to kick us right on off, we started our day by trying to rope drop. So we arrived at the park pretty early. I can't remember specifically what time it was, but it was early enough to where we were able to see like the opening show before they opened all the lands and things like that. So when we first got there, we let Henry, we all got magic bands for this trip, and we let Henry try to, I shouldn't say try, he used his magic band to get into the park for the first time on his own. So that was definitely like so much fun to see. And I will insert that video here. Put your finger right here.
Hold it steady, okay? All the way to the front. Hold it. Good job! Wow, he did it!
So after we did the whole coming into the park and really like, we took a bunch of pictures on the way to the castle, because my son and I, like us as a family, we always watch a lot of Disney vlogs. And so when we were walking down Main Street USA, my son was like, oh my gosh, it's Disney World. I was like, I know, it's Disney World. So it was just such a great time. It was awesome. So we were able to see the opening show, which I wanted him to be able to, I wanted our son, Henry, to be able to specifically see all of the shows and have all the interactions with all of the characters and, you know, things like that as much as possible. It's not, when we went, it wasn't quite to where it is now as far as the characters and the meet and greets and things like that. It's definitely laxed ever since we've been, but we were able to see all the cavalcades and things like that. And so seeing the opening show was a big deal as far as things that we wanted out of this trip. So that was really nice.
It's great to see ya! Oh, look! Everything is sparkling! Oh, we sure put the iridescents! Well, hi everybody! We're so...
So after the show, we ended up going to Sleepy Hollow to have breakfast. I ended up getting the Nutella waffle, and I can't remember exactly what my husband got. We kind of shared everything. I think I talked a little bit about that in vlog day number 1, that we shared a lot of the food because as I had mentioned earlier on in this vlog, I am pregnant. And so when we went to Disney World, I was pregnant at that time, and I was actually like in the not so fun stage of pregnancy. So I wasn't really hungry, and when I was, it would just made me nauseous. So we shared a lot of our food and things like that. And so I only took a picture of my breakfast, I think. But it was delicious. Definitely stays to the hype of the Nutella waffle from Sleepy Hollow. It was really good. So that was really fun. And then I took a lot of pictures of our son at like at the castle. He was turned and looked at the castle, and I just found those pictures to just be so fun. I just love that picture of him. And that area right there, right by Sleepy Hollow, there's a path that goes kind of beside the castle. That is like the most fabulous place to take pictures. So I highly recommend, if you're going to a trip soon, go over there by Sleepy Hollow and take pictures in front of the castle over there, because there's pretty much nobody there ever. We were able to go by there a couple different times and take pictures, and it was really nice. Highly recommend. So then after that, we ended up going straight over to Peter Pan's Flight, because that is one of my husband's favorite rides. I like all the rides, so that was fine. I really like Peter Pan's Flight, so we rode that first. And I think I have some videos. If I do, I'll insert them now. And then I took lots of pictures in the queue, because the queue of Peter Pan's Flight is just like, it's so immersive. I adore it so much, which a lot of the queues in Disney World typically are pretty immersive. But I really enjoy that one a lot. So I took lots of pictures. So after that, we did the Prince Charming's carousel, and my son really enjoyed that. I think it's just a little kid thing to really like the carousel. But he really did enjoy that, and I think I might have some footage of that too. So if I do, I will insert that here. The way we did our food this trip, as I had mentioned, we shared a lot of our food. So we really just did a lot of quick service and snacking and things like that. We didn't end up doing any of the sit down like table service meals that I can recall. Because when my husband and I went for our honeymoon, that's all we did was sit down meals, which was really nice, especially since it was our honeymoon. But with us having our toddler around, I didn't feel like we wanted to waste time to go and sit down and enjoy meals and things like that. So we had made a bunch of food pickup. I can't remember what that's called. Oh, that's terrible. Pregnancy brain. But we basically can like schedule, you can pay and schedule your food to be, you can go and pick it up. So you can have like a prepared time and when you arrive and that kind of a thing. And we use that quite a lot. So just a little bit of backstory before I go too much further. With this trip in mind, my husband and I always watch a lot of Disney vlogs. We watch Disney Food Blog a lot. We watch the Trackers a lot. We just watch a lot of people, like a lot of channels that are frequent in Disney World. And my husband and I both very much enjoy the Trackers. And so when we were planning this trip and talking about this trip, we were like, oh, what would you do if we saw the Trackers? Like, what would you do? And I was like, oh my gosh, I would have to say hi, you know, that kind of a thing. And we just talked about like how funny it would be. And I was like, both of us were like, oh, that would never happen because Disney World is so big. So like, and they don't always go to the parks. Like they go to a lot of different theme parks and things like that. But they are heavily involved in Disney. And so we were like, oh, that wouldn't happen, you know, that kind of a thing. And it happened. We were both starstruck. We were on our way towards Casey's Corner, and we were going underneath the castle where all the mosaics of all the Cinderella mosaics are. And we saw them both, and we were like, oh my gosh. And they were so nice. Honestly, truly the nicest people. They immediately saw us and came straight over, and they're like, oh, hi, how you doing? And we were able to chit chat a little bit and get some pictures. And it was just so much, it was just awesome. Rob and I were both just, like I said, starstruck. They're just truly just so genuine and nice. They are very nice people. So it was really like a check off of a bucket list almost for us that we were able to see them. I mean, we were both just giddy. I feel giddy just like talking about it, just because it was just surprising. We were both just shocked, truly shocked, but it was very awesome. It was very nice. So then after that, we, while we were waiting for our food at Casey's Corner, a cavalcade was coming by. So we pulled our son out and he was able to see the cavalcade, and enjoy that for a little while. And then, after that, we went and sat on the grass area, to eat our food, which I don't think I actually ended up taking any pictures of our Casey's Corner meal, unfortunately. But we got the corn dog nuggets, and then I think we got some cheese fries, things like that. And it was really good. I mean, it was Casey's Corner. So if you're a longtime fan, you get it. So after that, we went and did Mickey's PhilharMagic, I think is actually what it's called. And that one is one that I remember from being a kid in Disney World whenever I was really young. So I've gone actually a couple different times. My husband and I went for the first time together. It was his first time when we went for our honeymoon, but I had been a couple different times, so I had a few things in mind that I wanted him to see. So then, you know, obviously whenever we went back, we both had a couple things in mind that we wanted to do with our son, and that was one of them, especially since it was cooler that day, but you know, it always reaches a peak time when it warms up, and there was no line for that. So we went ahead and did that, and my son actually really did not like it. He was petrified. He didn't like everything flying at his face. I think the whole idea of like the 4D, I don't know if that's exactly what they call it, but like when you get sprayed and there's air and there's smells and stuff like that, I think that kind of like really tipped him off. So I think it was a little bit much for him, but he talks about it to this day like he enjoyed it. Like at the very end, which if you've never rode this and you want to and you don't want any spoilers, skip ahead. But at the very end, Donald is actually like behind you and his legs are moving. And when he turned around and saw that, he thought that was like the greatest thing. He was still done with it, but he loved that part. So it ended up being okay. But yeah, during the whole thing, he was just not about it. And I was like, take your glasses off. And he took them off, but he still didn't like it. So anyway, he was funny. So after that, we went through the gift shop because you always have to exit through the gift shop or past the gift shop, I think. So we got him a giant lollipop, and I have a couple pictures of him enjoying that here. And all was well after that, you know. So after that, we went to the Winnie the Pooh ride, and that is another one from my childhood that I absolutely had to ride with him because the heffalump section of that ride used to scare the poop out of me. I was just like, I remember just feeling so wigged out during that whole segment there, that I was like, oh my gosh, like it just is like a staple in my mind. Like even whenever I went with my husband, I was like, we have to ride the Winnie the Pooh ride so you can see the heffalump section because it just is like so bizarre. And so we took our son, but it took us the longest time to get through the queue. Even though we went during a slow period, what was predicted to be a slow period, we were there in the end of January to the like very beginning of February. And even though we went during what was projected to be a very slow period, it was still so busy, so busy. Specifically Magic Kingdom. I don't recall it in any of the other parks that we visited. or any of the other resorts seeming all that busy. But it was so busy at Magic Kingdom because obviously the 50th anniversary. So it took us like almost 2 hours to get through the Winnie the Pooh queue. But Henry really enjoyed the queue because there's a lot of interactive things to do during that queue. But it took a lot out of my husband and I to just stand in line for all of that time because we were sitting around looking like there's so many other things that we want to do, and it just felt really tedious. So once we got through the Winnie the Pooh ride, we ended up taking a break, and we took we went over to, I can't remember, I think we used the monorail to get over to the Polynesian, and we ended up eating lunch or dinner there, whatever you want to call that. We ended up eating dinner there at Captain Cook's, which like I said, wasn't feeling great, so I didn't really eat anything special. I think I had chicken wings. And so that was that. But it was kind of nice to get out of the parks, like I had mentioned in vlog day number 1. My husband and I truly enjoy visiting the resorts while we're on a Disney vacation, just because I feel like there's so much magic in those resorts, and just like seeing what's out there and things. So we really did enjoy doing that because we always make sure that we take a stop by the Grand Floridian, because that one's just like my dream resort to stay at. But we hadn't actually like really went around and checked out the Polynesian, so we really wanted to make sure we did that this trip. So since it was so busy at Magic Kingdom at the time, we decided to take a trip over there. We went through the gift shop a little bit at the Polynesian and ended up taking a boat back. And on the boat ride back, I was kicking myself because I had plugged my phone in the night before, which I didn't bring like any cameras or anything like that because I had already decided I wasn't going to be vlogging this trip. As I had mentioned in vlog day number 1, I was just too sick. I just felt like I just wanted to really enjoy this vacation. And so I plugged my phone in that night, but it didn't charge. The whole night it did not charge. So when I woke up the next morning, my phone barely had any charge, and I had brought our portable charger with us and had already used that during the day. So my phone ended up dying during that trip from the Polynesian to Magic Kingdom again, unfortunately, which really stinks because I feel like that's really when our Magic Kingdom day started to ramp up, was towards the evening. So I don't have any more pictures, unfortunately, of our Magic Kingdom day, but I still wanted to tell you guys about it because there was so much, like I said, that ramped up towards the evening of that day that it was still like, it was really fun. So when we got back, my son was actually kind of crabby because he was wanting something at the gift shop, but it was like, oh, he wanted a pair of Crocs. They were Disney Crocs, but they weren't children's Crocs. They were adult size Crocs, and he really wasn't like grasping that they didn't have it in his size, and he still wanted us to buy him like adult sized Crocs. And my husband and I just really couldn't get on board with doing that because we were like, what if you like never actually like these Crocs and you're, you know, just like, we just couldn't get on board with it. And so that just like set the tone for him for like an hour or so because toddlerhood. And so when we got back into Magic Kingdom, we were making our way in through the gate, and this woman approached us and was like, oh, you know, like, what's wrong? Are you okay? And he was talking to her and stuff, and she was like, I just bought this popcorn and I don't want it. And it was like a red, white, and blue 50th anniversary popcorn mix. And she's like, I really don't want it. She's like, I haven't opened it or anything. Like, do you want it? And she asked us if it was okay. And we're like, well, like, if you're sure, then sure. And she gave it to our son. It was a full brand new bag of popcorn. And so that kind of made him feel a little bit better. It made us feel really good because like she kind of pixie dusted him. So that was really special. So that was really nice. So that kind of brought him up a little bit more now that he had this like sugary popcorn to feed on. So after that, he sat in his stroller and ate some of that stuff, and a cavalcade was coming by at the same time. So we got to enjoy the cavalcade, and he got to eat some popcorn, get himself feeling a little bit better. And then we ended up going over to the tiki room, which is something that really is not very monumentous. I don't know if that's the right word. It just like, there's not like, it's not a ride. You just kind of sit there and you get to enjoy the things going on around you, which I love the tiki room. That's something that I pretty much have to go to every single time that I'm in Disney. I just really enjoy it. And a lot of the time I will turn on like a Walt Disney World playlist on Spotify or, you know, Apple Music, whatever. And the tiki room would come on, and my son knew that song. He knew that song by heart. So, so that, I just felt like that was something that we had to obviously go on. So then we ended up doing Aladdin's Magic Carpet Ride, which there's a lot of different rides like that. You know, like there's the Dumbo, and there's the Astro Orbiter, I think is what it's called. There's quite a few of those types of rides in Magic Kingdom, but we were right there. It's right outside of the tiki room. So we rode that one, and that was fun. We enjoyed it. It was simple, but it was fun. And there wasn't a super long line, so that always makes it a lot nicer and easier. So then we went over to Tomorrowland because we hadn't made our way over that way yet at all. And that's like one of my favorite areas because I love the People Mover. So we got in line for that and really enjoyed that. My son really enjoyed that a lot. He liked being able to like go all over the place and see everything. And so that was really fun. We enjoyed that a lot. And then after that, we went to Tomorrowland Speedway because my son is a boy and he has an obsession with cars. And so at Tomorrowland Speedway, he was able to drive the car as long as my husband was with him. So him and Rob rode in the cars, and he just had a kick out of that. He just really enjoyed that a lot. So that was really fun. It was fun to see him really enjoy that because, you know, sometimes it's the easy stuff, you know. So then we went and actually got a Mickey pretzel from, I can't remember what that little area is called, but it's right underneath the Astro Orbiter. There's a little it's a little stand where you can get just whatever. So we ended up getting a Mickey pretzel there and enjoyed that, and then went to pick out our fireworks show spots. And so I really wish that I had my phone for that because that was a new show. Whenever my husband and I were there, we got to see the Happily Ever After fireworks show. And that one is still probably my favorite out of the Magic Kingdom shows because I liked the 50th anniversary show. It just didn't seem to hit the way Happily Ever After did for me. But they're both still very much worth it to see. Like if you're in Magic Kingdom, definitely don't skip it. It's definitely worth watching. It was fun. It was really nice. So after that, a lot of the time people will leave the parks. They will leave to, you know, take their kids back and get some rest, you know, that kind of a thing. That is the best time to fit in whatever you didn't get to ride. So we pretty much ran to, I think we ran to 3 other rides. So we ran over to Teacups and did that because you have to do Teacups in Magic Kingdom. And then we did the Little Mermaid ride. And so that was really fun because that's just like a clamshell ride. And, you know, if you've seen the Little Mermaid, you can enjoy that. And then we ended up doing Barnstormer, which was my son's first like real roller coaster style ride. And he just got a kick out of that. That was just like splendid for him. He just really enjoyed that a lot. And then after that, we really couldn't fit much more in. So we waited for the Kiss Goodnight and then made our way through the gift shops as we walked back towards the exit of, you know, Main Street. And it was really nice. As we were walking through the stores, our son ended up falling asleep. So we were able to really look around and see what souvenirs we wanted. We had done a little bit of here and there souvenir shopping while we were in Magic Kingdom, like earlier on in the day. Amazingly enough, my son ended up with like 15 different souvenirs, not on Magic Kingdom Day, I don't think. I think it was just collectively. My husband and I ended up with a keychain. And I don't even know if my husband got anything. I can't remember. I really can't remember. But either way, it was so much fun. We really, really enjoyed that day. I still, to this day, kick myself that my phone died. I just couldn't even believe it. Beside myself, truly beside myself. But anyways, that is pretty much what consisted of our Magic Kingdom day. I hope you enjoyed this video. I do have probably another 4 or so days left of this vlog series. So like I said, make sure you stick around so that you can qualify for the giveaway that is at the end of the series. And until then, I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.